Hello everybody, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel, Kalanati. Today I'm going to review Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is a science fiction novel of epic scale evolution, the future of humanity's civilization, but also the future evolution of our inhuman children, let's say. Children of Ruin is the sequel to Children of Time. You do need to read that book before you read this one. There are a lot of references, and part of the story at least picks up pretty much right where Children of Time left off. And if you haven't read that book first, probably don't watch this review or listen to my synopsis of it because the storylines are pretty similar. But I will leave that up to you and how sensitive you are to spoilery information. Like Children of Time, Children of Ruin is split into two storylines which eventually meet up at a certain point in time. The first storyline in Children of Ruin follows a terraforming crew from Earth. When they arrive at their destination, they discover that the planet already has life. It is the first time that humanity has ever encountered truly alien life, a xenobiology that has no resemblance to Earth or Terran biology. Rather than destroy or contaminate this alien life, the crew takes another route. The captain, Baltiel, and half of the crew remain to study Nod, the planet with life, and the other half of the crew, led by a man named Synopsis, go to the neighboring planet called Damascus, which they decide to terraform, and it is essentially a water world. Synopsis then proceeds to apply the uplift nanovirus to his pet octopuses as he is hoping to fashion them into underwater engineers for Damascus. Then in the other storyline, thousands of years in the future, we return to the ported or spider civilization from Children of Time. This is a couple of generations on, and humans and spiders are now working together. One exploratory vessel encounters the planetary system where Baltiel and Synopsis' terraforming crew had settled, and what they encounter there is fascinating. I could go down a long list of items that this book checks off for me. I loved so much about it. The ideas and concepts that it's working with, the evolutionary processes, and everything that it's saying about inhuman intelligences and how the brains and thinking and sentience of different species work. So for example, this book covers things like genetics and that uplift nanovirus from the first book, the accelerated evolution of inhuman intelligences, and lots of xenobiology. For people who are fascinated by octopuses and how intelligent and curious octopuses are, this has an actual octopus civilization and really explores the biology of them, how their communication is different, how their brains are structured in an incredibly different way from humans and spiders, and how that influences or makes interspecies communication so difficult. This is also the first science fiction novel that I've read that does a really good depiction, in my opinion, of a water-dwelling species in space, in spaceships with no artificial gravity, and how water-filled ships would have to just physically behave in different ways with accelerating and deaccelerating in space and maneuverability and stuff. And I also just thought the physics of that was cool. And on top of all of that, there are other great epic science fiction concepts like terraforming, and one of my absolute favorites, xenolinguistics and interspecies communication across wildly different sentiences, brain structures, body types, and senses. I think that much of the action, the core part of the plot, revolves around communication and difficulties in communicating with other species, especially when you do not have a foolproof method of translating from one language to another, and how so much of one species' actions or thought patterns can be very alarming to another because you are not working from the same biological commonalities, let's say. And I haven't even started to touch on the actual alien, non-Terran sentience that is encountered in this, which is utterly terrifying for much of the book. Because I enjoyed the linguistics and communication aspects of this book so much, it's probably no surprise that my favorite characters were actually the two teams of human and spider scientists who are trying to create like an artificial automated real-time translation between human and spider languages. The first pair are Meshner and Fabian, who are doing really dangerous, tricky stuff involving actual electronic implants in the brain. And then you have the other pair, Helena and Portia, who are relying more on wearable devices and software to do the translation. And I especially loved the parts of the book that focus on Helena and Portia, because not only are they tackling the communication and physical differences between humans and spiders, they are also thrown straight into the octopus civilization and have to try to figure out how to translate and communicate with the octopuses. And do I love science fiction novels that focus on linguists? Yes, yes I do. There is something about the pace and the scale of this book that I find absolutely engrossing, and I just have to keep reading. I have to know that chain of causation. I want to know what happened, what led to what on down the line. I want to link up all the events and see how it happened. And I also get this feeling of like an epic crescendo of evolution in the story as you see how different species can evolve and what they can achieve over vast amounts of time. I think that is so exciting, and it's very awe-inspiring to see this view of accelerated technology, accelerated evolution, and what truly alien civilizations might be like. And a thing that I think that Tchaikovsky does particularly well with Children of Ruin and the previous book is I think he's pointing out that we tend to think of aliens, of inhuman intelligences, for example, as being extraterrestrials, that they must come from somewhere else in the universe, another planet, another galaxy. But what he's showing the reader, I think, is that we possibly are already living right next door on the same planet with alien intelligences, or the potential for an alien sentience with the spiders, with the octopuses, that you don't actually have to go to another planet to find something like this. As much as I could rave about this book and what I loved about it for a long time, I am going to admit here at the end that I don't think it is a perfect book. Does it kind of repeat the story from Children of Time? Yes, I think that it does, though give Tchaikovsky props for telling the same story twice and still making it just as good the second time around. Does it drag a bit at the end? Is it maybe a little bit too long? Yes, in my opinion. I think we could have done without some of the final events. For example, the whole last story arc with Meshner and Kern, I wasn't very interested in, and I could have just done without that, but nevertheless, maybe somebody else is fascinated by the artificial intelligence and, you know, biological mind uploading aspect of the story, but I'm here for, you know, the spiders and the language instead. And I can't believe I just said that I'm here for the spiders, but if you have read this book or the sequel and you are also shocked that you are rooting for a spider civilization despite being an arachnophobe, let me know in the comments down below. So I think that's everything I have to say about Children of Ruin. I will cut myself off there, but yes, I loved this book. I will probably reread the books in the series at some point when I can get my own copies of them. So let me know what you thought of this. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I will talk to you again soon, and until then, bye.